And the title of my talk is Seeing with the Eyes of Love.
Yeah, man.
All right. And what did we come here for? Love. And actually, I think that's what Ernest Holmes had in mind. Many people believe that he was very heady, and if you ever read his textbook, you might agree with some of them. It's written like a textbook. But in reality, he talks about love shows the way, and the law makes the way possible. And he's not talking about law as in police. He's talking about natural law. And if you think about it, if we came here for love, what stands in our way? The person responsible for standing in your way is you. And when you accept that responsibility, you can make a change. Because you've identified what it is that blocks love. Now maybe you're in the majority that just is totally open to love. And you get all that you can get. And it just overflows. Or perhaps there's that little piece that makes Hallmark rich. You know what I'm talking about. What was yesterday? It was Valentine's Day. What is Valentine's Day? Valentine's, if you're in relationship and it's a good relationship, you celebrate. If you're in a bad relationship, you're not happy. And if you're single, you feel like you're missing out on something. You feel like you're not complete. But if you understand that love is an inside job, and the job inside is up to you. For when you love yourself, what happens outside doesn't matter. But more importantly, when you love yourself, you are available to spread love around. Because you know what it is, and you've got so much, it won't stay inside. It's got to flow over. It's got to get out. It's got to go out. That is the natural law. That is God expressing itself through you. You are the outlet. You are the lamp to the plug of electricity in the wall. The light goes on when you plug it in. Love comes out when you plug into God and to love who you are. It's all about you. So today, you may find some words of wisdom that may resonate with you, and maybe you just say, ho hum, I know that already. Regardless, it's short. It's only 20 minutes. And I've already used 5. I have this little pamphlet at home. It's about science of mind and love. And I came here this morning and I spent 10 minutes looking for these pamphlets because I was sure we had a box of them and I wanted to give them out to everybody. And of course, we didn't. We have a lot of other pamphlets, but not this one. Margaret Storch, who was a minister in Oakland, and also for a while before we had the current organization, she was president of the United Centers for Spiritual Living, and I almost said United Church of Religious Science because that was the organization she was president of. That was eons ago. She said, the word love immediately calls to mind the electric feelings you have towards those who mean a lot to you. That special loved one, perhaps. And I think that's what most of us go for love. We think love is that emotional rush. And I always think about when I was a teenager. That was the first emotional rush of love that I felt. Or it might call up a picture of some especially enticing activity that you really enjoy. Dancing, perhaps. It was like Rosie. For those of you who might have noticed, and I'm not trying to out her, but she has a very flowing skirt. And during the opening song, she was doing this. And there was so much love coming out that I was mimicking her. I was doing this. And that's what love and how it works. We see it. So it's the love of dancing, it's the love of being, it's the love of life. And so what it does is it evokes other and more love. Or painting, or playing some instrument. Beautiful, beautiful demonstration of the instruments that evoke love. And love is all those things. But Science of Mind shows us it's so much more. And part of what I'm talking about this month is a 4-part series out of the Mastery of Love from Don Miguel Ruiz, and many of you know him because he wrote the 4 Agreements. Yeah. And I'm also talking, though, from this week with Seeing with the Eyes of Love. And this magazine, which is our Science of Mind magazine, is one I really, really love, as many of you know that. But it seems to just fit. I don't know how that works. I do not know how Creative Spirit knows, but I have a feeling these words are written for me. So I want to share them with you. And for $3.95, you can have this copy yourself. We sell it in the bookstore. Christian Larson said, "When you know that you are greater than any undeveloped condition that may exist in your mind or body, you gain the power to transcend limitations." That is so important, I want to repeat it. When you know that you are greater than any undeveloped condition that may exist in your mind or your body, you gain the power to transcend limitations. It's all a Jedi mind trick. For those who saw Star Wars, it's all in our mind, our limitations. And what Eugene Holden, who wrote these daily guides, he's an awesome guy, I know him. He said, "Do not believe for one moment that you are less than anything. You are greater than anything outside of you. You are filled with that same divine intelligence and power that creates and sustains all of life." Those are magical words. Those are empowering words. And when you connect with them, that's great. But what stands in the way? He says, there is nothing that can limit you. Nothing. Well, that's not quite correct. There's only one thing that can limit you, and that's you. And that is so true. The only thing that limits you. Because what happens is we operate, and it's a human tendency. We operate from the condition from which we exist and we see. But if we're in the condition that we do not want, to stay in that condition just means more of it. So you must train yourself to move out of the condition. I was counseling a person recently, and they were saying, "But you don't understand. This is what's happening to my life, and I have all of this going on." I said, "I understand that, but what is it that you want?" And they said, "Well, I want this, but I have this." And I said, "Well, somehow you have to move into what you want. Can I help you visualize what is it that you want? Can you see it? Can you feel it?" And they said, "Yes, but I'm here." And I said, "Yes, I know you're here, but as long as you're here, you'll never get there." We get so attached. We get attached to the reality that we see in front of us that we can't see anything else. And so it's about letting go of the attachments. It's about letting go of the reality you do not want, but you keep experiencing and you keep wondering why it doesn't change. You are the hero you have been waiting for. You are the Christ within you. All Christ means is it's an enlightenment. You are one with the divine Creator. And this has to be true. If the Creator is all there is, and you're here, that means you're one with it. It can't be otherwise. And the Creator created us out of love, to experience love, and to thrive in this world. So we are that vehicle. We are that avenue. So when we are doing what we really want to do, which is love, then we have to open ourselves up. There's a great story in here, and it's a story about Artemis, the hunter. Now, I don't know if many of you know much about Greek mythology, but Artemis was the hunter who had a magical form, animal form of the deer. Sometime Artemis is known as Diana, the goddess of love. So it's perfect for this, right? Well, in this story, Artemis is this beautiful huntress who is so easy to hunt in the forest. Everybody loves her in the forest. She attracts love because she gives out love. And she hunts, and people are honored to be her prey and to be captured by her and killed and used. Because it's love, and it's recycling of love. It's part of the natural order of things. All is working magically and wonderful in the story until a king decides he wants to capture Artemis. In effect, capture love. So he gets a hold of Hercules, another godlike person, and sends Hercules in and gives Hercules the task to capture Artemis. Hercules, having never lost a battle, goes into the forest to seek Artemis and tries to catch her. Goes up to her, and she absolutely comes close to him because she does not fear him. And she goes right up to him, but he tries to capture her, and she eludes him because she's fast. She is a magical deer, and she eludes him, and she's gone. And he tries again and again, and he cannot do this. So he goes to his friend Hermes, and some of us know Hermes, who is the messenger of the god, as Mercury. All of these gods have a couple different names. But what you know about Mercury or Hermes is his wings. And what we know about Mercury is usually the wings are on the feet, which makes them very, very fast. So Hercules says, "Hey, buddy, can I borrow your wings? I won't use them too much, just for a little bit." Borrows the wings, goes back into the forest. And Artemis, unaware, is pursued and captured. What happens to Artemis, who's lived in harmony throughout the forest, is suddenly she doesn't like this and she wants revenge. We've never met anybody like that. So then, and Hercules, once he's done this, he doesn't care. He's done his job, right? And so he goes out and about. But Artemis tries then to capture Hercules, but cannot because they're equally matched. And they cannot. But Hercules then just goes about his business. He's got other things to do. He goes about. But he goes back because he likes Artemis. And he goes back into the forest to visit her. Because he's happy when he's hanging out with her. But he's not attached. He can go away. She, however, wants him. And then because she is happy when she's with him, and then she's jealous and envious when he's not there. She really wants to control him. She wants him there all the time, right here. And he, of course, is oblivious. Not that most men are oblivious, but he just is gone. So what happens is the forest starts to lose its light and shine and love because Artemis is no longer this magical deer that just gives out so much love. She becomes the huntress who is looking to grab and control Hercules. So Hermes decides, he gets a tip that things are not well in the forest. So he decides to take an animal form and he goes into the forest, and Artemis is just about to slay him in the most ruthless way, and he immediately changes back into the magical god that he is. And upon that, she has an enlightenment, and she has a wisdom, and she realizes what has happened. Don't you wish we could have enlightenment that easy?
Yeah.
Hello! Where's Hermes when you really need him? So when she sees that what has happened, and she looks around her, and it's kind of like she sees what has happened to the forest because she's been consumed with this. She goes to Hercules and begs forgiveness. And he says, "Oh, it's no problem," because he has no clue that she was so consumed. It was never a big deal with him. He hung out with her because he liked her. He loved her. He wanted to hang out and be happy. But he wasn't attached, and he could go on and live his life. And she saw that. And it was another enlightenment. That you can have love without attachment. You can have love without control. You can have love without jealousy or envy. You do not need love to complete you. And so that story is all about attachment and letting go. And what do we learn from that? I mean, it's a cute story, but there's so much in that story about the fact that when you have love, you're free and you move around and everything around you is light and thrives. And when you try to control it and capture it and hold it to yourself without sharing, without giving out, then things start to die. And there isn't that beautiful love that just flows and coexists. So it's about attachment. So there's another little thing in here, of course. That's all about this attachment thing. Just let go. That's what Robert Wall Crary says, in the depth of my stillness in you, my desire for the spiritual unfoldment of your soul is ceaseless. And the reason I read that is because that's what letting go is about. When you no longer have to feel the need to hang on to something, you make yourself available. And I like it because Eugene says, you know, there are days when you may feel like nothing is going right. I'm sure we've all had those days. Some of us don't have to look too far back in the week. But we have to let go of it in order for us to let it be. We are to let go of those thoughts that block us from being our divine self. They are things to let go of. When we let go of sin, and I love this, sin is self-imposed nonsense. Can you get it? Sin. Self-imposed nonsense. That's what Jesus was saying. It was, hello, is anybody listening to what I'm saying? He says, it's sin. Self-imposed nonsense, because we are the ones that do it. So, and it was like that counseling session I was telling you about. It was very hard to move this client from one place to the other because they were still hanging on to the past and they couldn't let go of it easily. I thought we were successful, but who knows? I'll see if I get another call. And then there is this piece that I love about it. And I'm choosing to end with this piece as right seeing, and it's the next page. Right seeing is the Ogasu crazy horse, chief crazy horse. I love the wisdom here. I salute the light within your eyes where the whole universe dwells. For when you are at the center within you, and I am in that place within me, we shall be one. This is somebody who early white people thought had no intelligence and no connection, and they were so connected to the Creator. That's unbelievable. They knew about oneness. They knew how to be one within the land and one with each other. And he relates a story in here that I think is so great, that a few years before, he was working with this person who always seemed cheerful. And you probably have seen those people in your workplace. They're the person that greets everybody when they come in the door. They say, hello, how are you? How's it going? They're the greeter. They were always happy. He was always happy. What people didn't know is he was going through a painful, terrible divorce. Children who he loved were being torn between the parents' inability to reconcile. And when somebody found out about that, they said, how can you be so cheerful when this is going on in your life? He says, it's a matter of choice, and I choose to be happy. Can you do that? No matter what is going on in your life, regardless of the circumstances, can you acknowledge it And know that it's a matter of choice. And can you choose to be happy? Can you choose to give out love?